Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to United States Cup. We're here in the quarterfinals, first week of best of 11, first week of two bands, and we've got a losers bracket matchup between Arizona and Oklahoma. This is sure to be a good one. Arizona finished top 24 last year. Oklahoma finished top 24 last year. So either way, one of them is doing better than they did last year. And the only time either of these teams has finished outside of the top 24 was Arizona in 2022 with top 16, or Arizona in the very first year of USC with a top 6 finish. I'm Dio, be casting this match alongside iFlame. Good evening.
Good evening. I completely agree. This match should be a pretty close one, or at the very least, we hope. Both these teams have had some solid scores in round of 32, and some less solid scores in round of 16. Of course, Arizona dropping to Texas. Unfortunately, had to go up against the 2 seed, getting swept there, and Oklahoma coming off of a 5-1 win against Puerto Rico after dropping to Pennsylvania in the first round in a tiebreaker. Unfortunately, they could have gone on one round farther, but didn't quite make it. And a lot of familiar faces on both of these teams. I think on Arizona, we've got, I believe, 4 returning players in Extractive, Hagawabla, Doga, and Majiro. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then a couple returning players on Oklahoma as well.
Yeah. The new players for Arizona, Gomish and Aurora Phasmata. Not Phantasma, Phasmata. I got by that a few times last week, casting Arizona. And as for Oklahoma, their roster this year, Bazinga's Dead, Amea, White Gyat, Asian, XD Piranha, and Takasaki Yu.
Yeah, I think 3 returning players, Bazinga, Asian, and Piranha, although I could be missing one. But it's a pretty interesting matchup. Arizona, very, very strong hidden team. Hagawabla and Majiro especially, 2 very strong hidden players, have been playing incredibly well for Arizona. Really nice to see Majiro stepping up this year. I think last year was pretty much just in for some of the lower AR picks. This year seems to be doing a little bit more and performing very well. So I imagine that's going to be their focus. Oklahoma, on the other hand, has looked, okay on some of the tech picks, potentially some hard rocks. I'm interested to see what they go for because looking at their scores from previous weeks, looking at their bans, I have a there's not a super clear idea of what picks they want to look for in this match. I feel like they avoid hidden, but from there, who knows?
Yeah, and I think a lot of the picks and bans for a team like Oklahoma this early on, right? You're seed 21, so in the early stages, you have kind of a middle seed matchup, but you're still facing seed 12, and in United States Cup, seed 12 is a pretty good team, right? New Jersey has players like Gaby, Siru, Fame Time, Water. So this is a team with a lot of pretty good tournament players who, especially with Gaby and Water, can really gap you on a lot of reading picks, can gap you on hidden pretty hard. And so they're a team where maybe you just don't want to play those sorts of picks. And then in the previous match, they're against Puerto Rico, who, yeah, has unexpected, but aside from that, is a lot of players who are not really experienced in tournament or don't really have a name for themselves in the tournament scene all too much. And so in that match, maybe you can abuse some of the more gimmicky picks because unexpected as well. Generally a pretty solid mechanics player, but not really known during his prime as a tournament player as kind of a gimmick player or reading player or anything like that. So for Oklahoma, I think a lot of the pick strategy in the early matches can really more so be determined by the matchup than by their team composition. Whereas in this one, Arizona versus Oklahoma is only a 6 seed difference. You have players who are kind of good at both of the general types of picks that you want to go for or not in a map pool of the mechanics and gimmick stuff on both teams. By the way, I think we're not getting the warm up. I don't think
Okay.
we have the warm up downloaded, so we'll be back with that maybe shortly. But yeah, I think for Oklahoma especially, a lot of the early rounds are really just kind of dominated by the fact that you have these really high seeding discrepancy matchups. And as seed 21, they're not super high, right? It's seed 12 and seed 28. But at the same time, with the tournament like this that kind of has a top tier, a middle tier, and then a bottom tier with significant drop off in between them, kind of can feel like a bigger seeding difference than usual. Especially because there's only 32 teams registered for the tournament, so a round of 32 with exactly 32 teams registered is always going to feel a little lopsided at the top and bottom.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will say though, seeding, especially in a tournament like this where they're all seeded by rank, doesn't necessarily mean too much. I think in this case it should be relatively representative, but we've got C24 Georgia going up against NorCal, the first seed in the winners
Yep.
bracket. That's going to be later tonight.
that's
So,
that's definitely a funny one.
Georgia, a team that, according to seeding, should not be anywhere near the winners bracket right now, but they've got a tough matchup ahead of them later tonight. And here we go into the warm up, and we see Hagawabla warming up. I think that's the hidden hard rock,
Yep.
and I really hope we get to see Dumb Surfer, the free mod 1. I would love to see Mashiro and Hagawabla play that. But I have a feeling it's going to be banned by Oklahoma, and it probably should be banned by Oklahoma as much as I want to see it played.
I kind of agree. And apparently we're just going back to Rabbit Hole. This was playing at the start, and now it's just back to Rabbit Hole. I have to laugh. All that just to only see the last 30 seconds of a warm up and then go back to Rabbit Hole afterwards. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think Georgia being at the top is not super surprising if you look at the players that are on the team. Like Stacker and Razorfruit are both very good for different reasons. Axolotl is very good for a different reason. OO Max is just a D ranker. That guy's way better than 5K. And I don't know too much about the other two players, but just those four alone are enough to really do very well against a lot of the middle seed teams. And especially like teams like Tennessee, where I think, Coda and Suicune are kind of some of the better players on that team, despite there being some 3-digits who can do well on the mechanic stuff. Firyu, for example, a very good speed player, but USC is kind of notorious for having a lot of picks that aren't super straightforward, even if they are mechanics tests. There are some of them, but a lot of times they involve a lot of finger control, a lot of other stuff, right? And it opens the door a lot for lower seeded teams that are relatively strong for their seeding to find those upsets. And that's kind of what happened there with Georgia making their way into winners bracket still at this point, beating out both seeds 8 and 9. The reward for that, seed number 1 in the winners bracket. But all that to say, upsets are very possible in this tournament because the seeding is not perfect, and both of these teams are kind of in that like middle of the pack sort of group, right? And both of them have had 1 win, 1 loss in different orders, but still 1 win, 1 loss for both of them. And so both of them have lost to one of the, higher seeded teams in the tournament. Both of them have won against some lower seeded opponents. And I feel like both of them can do okay in this match. I'm just curious to see exactly what the picks and bans are going to look like again, because Oklahoma, you did mention, of course, the reading players like Hagawabla and Measure McQueen, I think are going to be big assets for Arizona. So maybe similar bans to when they were playing against New Jersey, for example. But other than that, not entirely sure where they want to go with the picks and bans.
Yeah, tough to say. It's an interesting pool, though. This no mod pool has a ton of tap in, whereas something like the hidden pool has a lot of aim control in it, aside from that hidden 3, which is still reading. It is that AR8. And so I'm curious if Arizona will still be equally as confident on the hidden picks, considering they are all alt maps. I don't think they've struggled too much with alt in particular, so it shouldn't be a huge problem. There's just generally a lot of aim control in this pool, quite a few reading heavy maps, and some interesting maps. That hidden 2 it's something.
Definitely something. I'm. By the way, just a quick sidetrack. I like Arizona winning the role and choosing the ban order here over the pick order. I think in best of 9s and best of 13s, pick order can matter because having the first pick can mean the difference between a single breakpoint being a 5-2 win versus a 5-3 win, um, or a 7-4 win being a single breakpoint versus a 7-5 win needing to be a single breakpoint. So first pick in best of 9, best of 13 can be advantageous in that way. Of course, last pick can sometimes be advantageous because you get to, maybe the last map before tiebreaker, but again, requires winning a breakpoint there as well. But more so in tough matchups, if you are the lower seeded team and you get swept in a best of 9 or best of 13, at least you get one more pick than the opponent. You get one more try. Whereas in best of 11, you get 3 picks regardless, right? It's 3 picks for both teams, and that's a 6-0. So I think the pick order matters a lot less in best of 11 than it does in best of 9 or best of 13. And so I think ban order then matters a little more because it's the same amount of information hiding, right? With 2 bans in best of 11 versus best of 13, but the pick order just doesn't matter as much. Couple of bans coming out already, by the way. Hard Rock 1 for Arizona, Nomad 4 for Oklahoma. Didn't see Oklahoma's first ban here, though.
It was the DT1.
Okay.
And honestly, I'd say surprising bans for Oklahoma. They're banning out a lot of the very kind of tapping heavy picks, lots of speed. And it's a little bit concerning because Arizona, especially last week, did struggle with tapping. They've not really shown a preference to go into the speed. So evidently Oklahoma is not very comfortable on some of the tapping in this pool. It doesn't leave necessarily a lot of options. Unsurprisingly, Arizona is just going to ban out 2 of the Hard Rock picks. I think that is their weakest mod category by far. So they're just going to be leaving open that CS 6.5 a Slider Tech Hard Rock pick. We'll see if Oklahoma wants to pick that. They do have the next pick, and evidently they don't really want to pick speed. So we'll see if they opt into some kind of tech pick instead. Obviously the Hard Rock 2 is open, but it can be a little daunting opting to CS 6.5 right off the bat before the players get a chance to warm up. So I could definitely see them going for one of the no mods, potentially a no mod 1, or even one of the kind of tech focused DT picks.
I think they should pick Nomad 2. I think that's ideal as a first pick. I mean, obviously, if you're struggling with nerves on CS 6.5, surely CS 8.9 can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, I said Arizona, and I just talked about it as if Oklahoma's doing the picks.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it's Arizona. So I agree. They've got like the whole hidden pool. Nomad 2 is fantastic. Free mod 1 is also incredible for them. So I think they have options.
Honestly, I think the Nomad 2 is actually okay for Oklahoma. Generally, if you're bad at Hard Rock, you're not very good at precision, generally speaking. But it's just going to be a DT2 map for Arizona here, and I think that's fine. Like, Oklahoma, as you said, banned out speed, so despite Arizona not really leaning into it last week, maybe just picking that is fine. This is one of the higher BPM DT picks this week, where DT3 and DT4 are a little low BPM, 206, 210 BPM. This one is 260 BPM and AR 10.3. So generally a little more speed focused, much higher star rating. And I think a good pick if your opponents are just banning out higher BPM stuff like the Nomad 4.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the few very speed heavy picks left in the pool. Of course, you do have a few maps that are heavier on stamina. But for raw speed, this is going to be your best pick left available, and there's quite a bit of aim in this one as well. I think going into this map, you're going to be wanting to watch out for the solo section, but 3/4 of the way into the map, in my opinion at least, that's the trickiest section by far, as we've got players jumping into the lobby, Extractive, Hogawabla, Doga for Arizona, and on Oklahoma, we've got Bazingas, Dad, and Oiget, and just waiting on one other player. We could see someone like Amia for this one, possibly Piranha as well. I think is usually decent on the speed.
Let's see who the last member is going to be for Oklahoma here. It is Amaya to come in. So roster's locked for both teams going into the first pick now. First map in the best of 11 starting up 0:15 UTC. We're into the match and ready to go. So Well, let's see how this goes for both teams. Again, Arizona, not really a team that preferred the speed in previous weeks, and Oklahoma, a team that's banning it out. So I don't think you're expecting great scores from either of these teams on a map like this, but Arizona saying this pick just makes sense and probably is a solid pick just because our opponent's banning it out against us. And that's the thing about tournaments. You don't need to FC every map. You don't have to have great scores. As long as they're better than your opponents, you will still win.
Exactly that. I don't think they came into this weekend expecting to ban out maybe in the speed, but good adaptation so far. And here we go into the DT2, Oklahoma, Arizona, and it's 2 misses, 1 on each side, as things are going to stay pretty even for now. But Hagwabla follows it up with another miss, going to set Arizona slightly behind as we still haven't gotten to the real meat of the map. And so we're going to see a few more misses. There goes Daga. I mean, it does trade, but there's already missed. There's 2 FCs to 1 now in favor of Oklahoma, and they're looking good to start this one off.
It's all good so far, but there goes Bazinga, and Hagwabla will trade. It's 1 FC to 1 right now as Raktiv and Whitecat versing each other. Doga and Amea both on similar combo as well. The accuracy is doing so much for Arizona. Doga on 98, Zraktiv on 96, matching Whitecat's act, but the 91 and 92 for Amea and Bazinga. Only Hagwabla on that kind of accuracy on the side of Arizona. So that unmatched 98 accuracy for Doga is just doing a lot of work right now for Arizona. And there goes Bazinga's dead as well once again. Amea also dropping, and it's just Whitecat holding for Oklahoma now. Zraktiv and Doga still holding those good combos again, and Zraktiv actually going up in act now to 97.5. There goes Whitecat, does find the drop. Zraktiv will match it, but Doga's still holding combo, and the act lead has built up a 200,000 score lead, so pretty secure at the moment for Arizona on this one.
Yeah, we do still have the solo coming up, but the combo is just not there for Oklahoma. And here we go into the hardest section of the map. We'll see. It's going to be an absolute disaster from Arizona, and Doga does find the miss at the end, but I think has done more than enough. Now it's a 400,000 point difference, and Arizona should be pretty comfortable into the end of this map and able to secure their first pick, as we're going to see a few more misses into the ending.
Yeah, and I think you can kind of see why Oklahoma banned out the speed here. Amea and Bazinga, the 2 players who are in for this map alongside Whitecat, just not having it with this pick. Hagwabla still matching the score from Bazinga's dead, but 640k, 550k for Doga and Zraktiv. 550k for Whitecat as well, but 220k, 170k for Bazinga and Amea. Oklahoma definitely, I think, justified in the speed bans, despite Arizona not favoring them in previous weeks.
I think so. And now it's Oklahoma's turn to fire back with a pick of their own. There is still, of course, 1 Hard Rock pick left open. But that's a pretty scary one to go into early on, as I mentioned previously. So I'm wondering if we do see something like maybe a free mod 2, potentially a no mod 1.
Hard Rock 2, Nomad 2, instantly, surely.
Yeah.
I want to see Nomad 2, if you couldn't tell. I'm very interested in seeing that map, but yeah, I think honestly with the Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 3 bans, you're not giving too much away except the fact that you just don't want to play Hard Rock. So obviously Hard Rock 2 feels like a good pick, but at the same time, you know, there's some kind of flow aim, some tech maybe that you want to lean into in the rest of the pool. They are just going to go into the Hard Rock 2 after all. I'll see if they want to lean into maybe some similar skill sets as the Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 3 at some point later on. But for now, just going to go with the last remaining Hard Rock in the pool. See a 6.5 alt tech consistency hybrid sort of map.
Yeah, I'd say there's quite a bit of slider effect to it, and that's something that Oklahoma have looked really solid on in the previous weeks. And I feel like this is a bit of a rough pool for Oklahoma. It does feel favor Arizona a bit to me, because I think generally Oklahoma would love to pick away those kind of slider tech focused picks, but the other slider tech pick in this pool is a hidden 1 map, and I'm not sure that's something you can feel confident picking into Arizona. So they will have to go for a different skill set after this, but I think Hard Rock 2 should look very good for them, as I think we're going to see mostly the same players in the lobby. Tagasaki U coming in for I think Takasaki will be in for a lot of the less tapping focused picks. And we're just waiting for one more on Arizona. I imagine it's going to be Hogwabla back in. I expect will be in for most picks in this one, along with Gamish coming in to replace Extractive. Good luck, have fun in the chat as we get into Hard Rock 2. Oklahoma, I think, in this match cannot afford to fall behind early, but can certainly put up a strong showing here on the Hard Rock 2. And show everybody that they are here to play. Here we go.
Let's see it. Map starts off slow, but once it gets going, it doesn't really stop. Hogwabla actually already finding a break. Into some cut streams, Whitecat to match. And now into some of the slider tech. The aim control on this can be pretty difficult with the cut doubles as well. Multiple breaks now from Hogwabla. Takasaki and Gamish trading on both teams. Bazinga and Doga holding the FCs. Whitecat a little bit ahead of Hogwabla on the supporting combo. Same for Takasaki U. We're already a third of the way into the map. It's not a huge score lead for Oklahoma, but it is a score lead, which is what they need. Again, as you said, iFlame, they can't really fall behind early in this match, as by pretty much all measures, Arizona is still favored to win this match. There's another break, for both the FC and for Takasaki U. It's Bazinga versus Doga, actually, and Whitecat down means Hogwabla and Gamish on some good support. There goes Hogwabla, there goes Bazinga. So it's Gamish and Doga. Now just Doga as Gamish finds the break, but there's no combo on Oklahoma. It's already a almost 100,000 score lead, but there goes Doga. Bazinga to trade. It's Whitecat holding for Oklahoma. Can he bring this back into the end of the map? Hold through the cut streams here, and this is just barely enough combo, I think, to bring it back to the side of Oklahoma. Is it going to be enough to close it out here at the end? They have barely a 50k score lead, but Whitecat is still holding. White Yacht manages to take the win for Oklahoma.
What a performance. That was 100,000 points in the end, but a very impressive combo into the ending. That is not easy. And Doga with a very impressive score for Arizona as well, but Oklahoma keeping this match close, tying things up 1-1. And that's going to give them some confidence going into the next set of picks. Arizona now have their pick maps, and I think still quite a few options.
There's still the whole hidden pool. There's still the free mod 1 available in this pool. And still a couple of other higher BPM picks. Obviously, the DT1 and the Nomad 4 banned out, but stuff like the DT3 can still be pretty tricky generally. Excuse me. And even then, the DT4 is 210 BPM, AR 8.3 after double time. There's actually an AR 8.5 Nomad, an AR 8 hidden, an AR 8.3 DT4, and an AR 5 free mod in this pool. There are 4 low AR maps, all of which are untouched, by the way. So if one of these teams finds an advantage on low approach rate reading, it's going to be very, very good for them throughout the course of this match, because it opens up 3 other picks throughout the entirety of the pool. Now, granted, that Nomad 2 is also CS9, so maybe a little bit less emphasis on reading than some of the other picks, but you at least have the Hidden 3 and the DT4 to go into if you can win this pick. Dumb Surfer by King Cruel. AR5 CS4. That is AR7 after Hard Rock, if you wanted to know the math there.
Gio, this is the pick I wanted to see for Arizona. This is going to be the Hogwabla and Majiro McQueen show. Now, I don't think I would be very shocked if they opted into an overmod here. Actually, does everyone have to take a mod in this one? Is it just 2? I think it's just 2 mods.
1 hidden, 1 hard rock. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you can take easy, but it doesn't replace hidden or hard rock.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing Extractive on the hard rock. And I think either Hogwabla or Majiro can take the hidden on a map like this. I don't think we're going to see the easy, although I think Majiro can play it pretty well generally, maybe on something like the free mod 4. Bazinga's asking a very important question. Where
Yeah.
my team? And I'm not sure Oklahoma has many players that can play this one comfortably.
Yeah. AR5 is not something you see every day. It gets pulled every once in a while in tournaments. Um, but it is often a very niche
Yeah.
skill that is not picked into super often or just banned out very often instead because it's very one-sided. If one team is very good at low approach rate and the other isn't, or one player is very good at low approach rate and the other isn't. Um, so oftentimes it's just not picked into all that often. So we'll see how well these teams do here. Um, can't believe I'm saying this after the discussion we had about this username at the start of the match, White iFlame. But White Yacht has been a very big asset, if you will, for his team so far. So I want to see how well he does on this map as well, because
Yeah.
Oklahoma, I think, have been kind of leaning into him a little bit here, and he's actually taking the hidden for the team here. Hogwabla on hidden for Arizona, Mejiro on the Nomad, Zractive on the Hard Rock, as you said, Bazinga on the Hard Rock for Oklahoma. Again, Hard Rock is still AR7 on this map, so it's not like it's high approach rate. It's just CS 5.2 AR10 or OD10 AR7 mapping. And Piranha on the Nomad.
Yeah, generally, I think you're going to expect to see the hidden players struggle quite a bit, as Pakuabla and Waikiat are both going to be trading misses. Whereas you're going to expect to see a lot more combo from your Hard Rock and Nomad players. And I'd almost be tempted to say the Hard Rock, depending on the player, may even feel a little bit easier than the Nomad for quite a number of players. I think that's going to be the case for Extractive. And unfortunately, Waikiat is going to find another miss, this time not traded back by Hogwabla. So Arizona is off to a slow but solid lead as Piranha follows it up with another miss on the Nomad. Is just that Hard Rock combo still holding strong and is a little bit behind, but Extractive trading one back. It's going to be even combo, but Oklahoma has a lot of ground to make up.
And it's not quite even combo either. Metro McQueen is matching Bazinga's dead, and Hagawabla is on 200 combo. It's just unmatched by anyone on the side of Oklahoma. Piranha and White Gap missing once again, and only a third of the way into the map. It already feels sort of unwinnable. These perfect stacks on the bursts in between the single taps really seem to be throwing off White Gap, who is just missing on all of them. And so Oklahoma, I think, are going to very much struggle to put up a 2v3 performance here with Piranha and Bazinga's dead. And so, yeah, Hagwabla and Mejiro McQueen off to the races.
Yeah, and I know Mishiro McQueen is still on the higher combo, but this is a really, really good score from Hagawabla on the hidden. This is such a brutal hidden map, and on 400 combo, nearly 98% accuracy on the hidden in this map is going to be one of the better hidden scores I think we see on this map for the weekend. And unfortunately, Oklahoma are a little bit far behind. They're about to get 3x'd any second now, and that's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, Mejiro is 1v3ing right now. Hagawabla not too far behind that mark, though does find a miss.
And I mean, now we're just kind of watching Majiro.
We're just waiting for this to end, man.
Pretty much.
This one's over.
I mean, Majiro, I think, found a very early miss, so not quite the FC, but a very impressive score nonetheless, assuming they can hold on to their combo. Should be around that 800k mark. And yeah, this one has been a little bit decisive.
Now, obviously, the rest of the low AR picks in the pool aren't quite this polarizing, but I think you should, if you are Arizona, just pick into the other low AR maps in the pool, especially hidden, right? Like, your Nomad and Hard Rock on the side of Oklahoma are doing extremely well in comparison to your hidden player, who is stuck at 50k for, at this point, over half the map, right? So obviously there's a lot more comfort on the Nomad and Hard Rock for Oklahoma than there is on the hidden, and Arizona should probably lean into that maybe with the next pick, or
So.
save the hidden 2 for later on in the map, or sorry, hidden 3, excuse me. But definitely Oklahoma, not a state with a lot of hidden players. So the hidden pool in general, but especially the hidden three, look like good options after this. And of course, the DT3 as well. Definitely something that I think should be in the cards for Arizona at some point in this match. 900K no mod for Measure McQueen, by the way. Very easily 1v4 score. I don't think Hogwabla quite got there, but yeah, 1v3 score for Measure McQueen on that map.
Yeah, you could probably have added the score from a fourth player, and I think Majiro still would have had it
Yeah.
on that one. And it's pretty rough if you don't practice the map on the hidden. It's one of those maps that you really do have to practice. I mean, it's only 4 stars, Dio, right? It should be sight readable.
It's
It can't
only
be that
four
hard.
stars. Surely it's
Only 4
surely
stars.
it's easy. It's a 4 star. It's 4.07 stars. The speed maps are 7 stars in this map in
Why
this
why
pool.
would you practice a
Surely it's
4 star
easy. Why would
map?
you practice the 4 star? That doesn't need practice. Yeah, practice your 4 stars. If they're in a pool with 7 star maps, they're hard in
Yeah.
ways that are not normal.
Usually a good indicator that something is very off about the map.
Yeah,
That, not gonna give you a
something
good
is
time.
very wrong when you see a 4 star in the pool alongside
Uh,
6 and 7 stars. Um, for Oklahoma, though, the Hard Rock pool's gone, right? They don't have any more
yeah.
Hard Rocks to lean into. They banned out the DT1. The DT2 has been played. They banned out the Nomad 4. So they don't really want to lean into tapping, but they don't have any like high approach rate stuff. There it is. I called it. Yes.
go.
I'm so happy we get to see this here too. Nomad 2. They win the CS 6.5 map. They say, all right, well, they double banned Hard Rock and we beat them on CS 6.5. Let's just pick some more high circle size. Almost CS 9. Mostly stream aim in this map, honestly. But
Yeah.
I think that lines up pretty well with what we saw in the Hard Rock 2. So I think this is a good pick for Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's AR 8.5 as well, so somewhat rooting, but the real challenge, like you mentioned, are those tiny circles at CS 8.9. There's going to be a lot of kind of aim control heavy streams. The aim, of course, is going to be the big test. And it's 170 BPM as well, so it's actually quite low BPM for a stream map, I think, especially at this rank range. Players generally on stream maps see maps a lot closer to 190, 200, even higher than that on occasion. And so we'll have to see if anybody is over streaming the 170 BPM, especially on the I'm not the Hard Rock. This is just no mod. So
This
yeah,
is
we'll see if anybody over
156
streams.
BPM too. Not even
Yeah.
170.
Yeah.
But you just one thing I do want to say about a pick like this, CS9 AR 8.5 doesn't really feel like AR 8.5. It feels higher
No.
because there's just not the same type of object density as on a usual AR 8.5 map. Like, right, like usually you're looking at CS5 or maybe somewhere in the CS4 range, not CS9. And the super low combo density just makes it feel like a higher approach rate. It's one of the difficulties with precision maps generally on Hard Rock is that above a certain circle size, it feels higher than AR10, and you start to get into this like object density reading conversation there. Not all precision players feel the same way, but it is something that I think for people who do not play precision super often at this very high circle size actually makes the map easier to read counterintuitively,
Yep.
especially on this low BPM.
I think so. And here we go into the No Mod 2. I hope you guys all have your binoculars ready, as Extractive is going to find an early miss. Not the player you want to miss, because I think for Arizona, Extractive is really the player you expect to be doing pretty well on a map like this. Is generally solid on the Hard Rock, but has found very early misses, traded back by Bazingas. And it's just going to be 2 FCs to 2 early on. This is not a super long map. There's enough time to build up some decent combos. Whitecat is going to find a miss as well. So now very heavily in favor of Arizona's. There goes the last full combo for Oklahoma. And Dio, things are falling apart quickly here as it's another double miss. And contrary to the double miss, we've got 2 players, Hagawabla and Majiro McQueen, no longer Hagawabla. I apologize.
Majiro's shaking though.
Not Majiro either. And look at the combos on Oklahoma. They're up there. Takasaki does drop, but you've got 300 on Bazinga, 200 on Whitecat, and the accuracy is there too. Extractive is down at 84. Hagawabla's at 92. And Oklahoma's got a solid lead built up for themselves.
Yeah, the combo lead looked very good for Arizona, but that's really all they had because as soon as you chain miss one of these streams on near CS9, it's pretty hard to get back on. And a lot of combo breaks coming through once again. Mejuro and Bazinga with the only two big combos in the lobby. 80 combo on Takasaki Yu is somehow noticeable right now
Yeah.
as everyone is on super low combo, but yeah, you said it, iFlame. It's the ACK that matters so much. 95 for both Bazinga and White Yacht. 96 for Mejuro on the big combo, but does find another break on that stream. There goes Bazinga as well. So it's just the accuracy that's really playing a part right now. 92 for Takasaki Yu and 91 for Hagawabla. Not great, but Zractive on 86 is really having a rough time on this map. And so Oklahoma just able to get by with less combo comparatively than Arizona. They've been down in combo for a lot of portions in this map, but it just hasn't mattered now as they're up above 100,000 score lead going into the end here with combo on Takasaki Yu and White Yacht. And Oklahoma should be able to put a second point on the board here.
Yeah, and doing a really good job so far to keep it even. And even though it's not a massive score difference, because the combos are so small, it's actually pretty decisive. A map win here. It doesn't feel like Arizona has had a chance in this one for quite some time, as it is very solid scores from Webget and Bazinga getting up to 350k, and even Takasaki not too far off. Extractive player, I was expecting to be able to put up a decent score on this one. Unfortunately, struggling quite a bit, and yeah, it just came down to the accuracy, and Arizona really being tested so far in this one. Now, Oklahoma are going to have to look for some other picks. They are out of precision maps in the pool. They do have some CS5 options, but not quite the same thing. But Arizona is, of course, going to have the next pick. And they've got some options left. We mentioned, I think they've got the most of the hidden pool still. And I imagine they're going to be going for one of those. I could honestly see them going for a free mod 4 as well. That's a kind of stream-focused map that is pretty easyable, to be honest. And I could see them opting into an easy on that one. But that seems like a bit of a later stage pick if it comes down to it.
Yeah, unsure exactly where Oklahoma would want to go after this as well. I think, I mean, obviously it's going to have to be something a little bit different here because there's just not a lot that's super similar to what we've seen already left in the pool that isn't also in the hidden pool, which I think is just bad for them. So maybe you could go into some of the remaining free mods, stuff like Doku and the Polish song at the bottom. Is that Polish? I don't even know. The non-English titled song. What free mod 4?
Yeah.
But for now, Arizona very likely to just go into either one of the hiddens or the DT4, I think.
That would be my guess as well. So we are waiting a moment to find out what they do opt into, and it is the free mod 4. And I want to know whether or not we're going to get an easy from Mejuro. I think most likely it's just going to be the hidden no mod hard rock classic mod combination. But until we get into the map, I can keep hoping.
All right, Leci mi na ostro by Boski Roman. Honestly, don't know too much about this map. I watched Showcase, and this map is just gone from my memory. So I don't know what happened there, but there's just a blank spot. So,
Yeah.
iFlame, what do you know about this map before we get into this?
It's 170 BPM. It is a somewhat low BPM. Once again, it is aim control streams. So in that sense, very similar to the last map, except in this case, the circles are a whole lot bigger. So it's going to be a little bit less of a struggle for most players. And it is, I think, is it AR9? I
AR
believe
9.5.
so. Yeah, but it is actually, in this case, not the AR, but the patterning makes it quite easyable if you have practiced the map. But the big focus is on those streams, and so I think on the hard rock does add some difficulty. I don't think the streams are quite spaced, but there are some tricky ones for sure.
All right, get into the low BPM stream aim map. Arizona with Zraktiv, Hagawabla, Mejuro McQueen. Oklahoma with Bazinga, Takasaki Yu, and White Yacht once again. Very similar rosters for both of these teams from map to map. Just a couple of subs here and there. But a lot of the same core, mostly Bazinga and White Cat for Oklahoma, mostly Zraktiv and Hagawabla for Arizona. And there is not going to be any easy shenanigans going on this map, unlucky for iFlame. But we do get a mirrored mod layout here. God bless the players. Hard Rock on the top row, hidden on the outside bottom, no mod on the inside bottom. It's what you like to see. It's the little things in life, iFlame.
It certainly is. And it's little things, you know, Sue, as well as we see Hagawabla dropping quite a bit of accuracy, but it's Extractive who drops the first combo, so potentially an edge for Oklahoma. Obviously, a lot of match to be played, and we're just now getting to some of the very tricky streams. But Bazinga and White Cat finds the first miss, traded back by Extractive, but had already found the miss. That's not one of the drops the needs, and it's 2 FCs to 1. Takasaki holding strong on the Gnome mod. A match by 2 players, and Oklahoma's lead has vanished as the 2 Hard Rock players continue to trade misses. There goes Mejuro, though. Going to help out Oklahoma a little bit, but they're going to need a little bit more because even combo is not nearly enough for Oklahoma right now, but they're in the lead. The accuracy is there again. Takasaki on 99.3 is absurd right now.
And it's a 2% ACK lead for White Yacht over Mejuro, I think, that's doing a lot of the work here. Obviously, Takasaki's on 99, but it's actually higher score for the hidden FC from Hagawabla right now, just because of the mod difference. So a lot of that score lead is just barely coming from some of the other accuracy. But there goes Hagawabla, and now the combo is all that matters. Takasaki Yu, the only full combo, now down, actually. It's White Yacht and Zraktiv matching each other here, but the accuracy for White Yacht is much better than Zraktiv on 89% ACK here. That does match Bazinga's dead, but the combo is so much more important for better accuracy. There goes Zraktiv. White Yacht now the only combo in the lobby. How long can he hold? Can he pull it back once again for Oklahoma? Hagawabla will miss. Bazinga is matching Mejuro actually on the no mod. And as long as White Yacht can hold here, they're going to continue to bring the score back the way of Oklahoma. The biggest asset in the state, White Yacht, may be able to hold on for them.
The score is still incredibly close. We have a quarter of the map left to be played. If we see a miss from White Yacht at any point here, it could go over to Arizona very quickly. They are all rebuilding their combos, but so are Oklahoma. It's just a slow build-up as White Yacht hits that last stream pattern. It's a miss from Hagawabla, and they just might be able to close it out here into the ending. White Yacht needs to hold and hits the space stream. I think Oklahoma are going to take this one, and that is a break point from Oklahoma on the free mod 4. What a performance from White Yacht.
Fantastic performance from White Yacht in Oklahoma. 440k for Takasaki Yu as well, matching the highest score on the side of Arizona from Hagawabla on the hidden. So both of the 2 top scores for Oklahoma better than the 2 top scores for Arizona is the real difference maker there. Hard Rock for Zraktiv did go better than the Hard Rock for Bazinga's Dead, but just did not matter. 1100 combo and 98.5 ACK for White Yacht at the end of the map is really solid there for Oklahoma, and they will be the ones to take that point. I was considering this an Oklahoma pick, honestly. I was really thinking that Arizona would just go into one of those low AR maps after how the free mod 1 went, but they go with this free mod 4 and it backfires on them, and Oklahoma now up a break point. We talked about this at the beginning of the match, iFlame, the very start, but Oklahoma has never finished better than top 24. If they lose here, they finish top 24 once again. If they win here, they make it into top 16 for the first time ever in United States Cup history. So this would be the best ever finish for Oklahoma if they manage to win this map, and they've just taken the first breakpoint of the match going into their next pick.
Yeah, as they have done all tournament long now, White Yacht is just willing them forward in this tournament, in this match, and especially in that free mod 4. And I mean, I really can't fault Arizona for the pick here. I mean, even though you had this pegged as an Oklahoma pick, I had this one pegged as an Arizona pick.
Really?
I saw the pick for Arizona. I was like, you know what? I'm a fan. It's the style of map, game control streams. I feel like have generally been pretty good for Arizona, but just not able to put it together. I don't think they were expecting that kind of performance from both Takasaki and Whitecat, who are very, very good stream players. And now it's Oklahoma who have the pick, and they have the chance to put this one to 4-2, consolidate this break point. They have to be very careful with their next pick. And I was about to say this, Dio, but I think the Hidden One is actually a very solid pick for Oklahoma. Even though Arizona is an insane hidden team, Oklahoma has been the slider tech team. And what is Hidden One? It's slider tech. So even though you're picking into the hidden, both Takasaki and Whitecat are very comfortable on the hidden and very good at tech. And I think that's going to favor them quite a bit. My one concern for Oklahoma is that third player. We haven't really seen much of the hidden from Bazinga or any of their other players. I'm curious if we do see somebody like Amia or even Asian come in for this one to replace Bazinga's. But some concern for the third player on Oklahoma. I think Takasaki and Whitecat should have a good time with this, as it should just be the same 3 for Arizona.
And I'm on the opposite side. I kind of thought this would just be an Arizona pick at some point during this match once they exhausted low AR maps. This is a team that just has a better hidden roster. We saw Hagawabla and Measure McQueen absolutely smash the free mod 1. And, you know, yeah, this is a different style of map, of course, but I feel like mod comfort matters a lot for these lower seeded teams, for players who are not quite as comfortable in tournaments. And definitely Arizona with a lot of the mod comfort here. It's a little bit of slider tech, a lot of flow aim on this map, as Hagawabla refusing to load into the map. So him loaded in and get the song synced up in just a second here. But I feel like with both of us predicting it different ways, this could just go any which way. So we'll have to see how this one turns out. Last map was pretty close as well. If Whitecat found a break anywhere before that 1100 combo, it may have gone the way of Arizona. So it's a very close pick despite the score difference. And we're kind of seeing that again here. A couple of early breaks. Whitecat on the only FC for Oklahoma, 2 FCs for Arizona, but the accuracy for Arizona, Zractive and Medro really struggling there, and score lead still on the side of Oklahoma because of that. Another break for Zractive now, and now it's 1-1 in the FCs, supporting combo in favor of Oklahoma, and accuracy way in favor of Oklahoma. Hagawabla goes down, and now iFlame shoes on the other foot here. I'm wrong on the call, as Oklahoma just looks fantastic here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of match to be played, so it's too early to say, but I think it's hidden advantage for Arizona, but a huge slider tech advantage for Oklahoma. And that's what's making the difference right now, as Extractive finds yet another miss. And look at Oklahoma, dude. They are holding strong with 3 absolutely massive combos. Only Majiro trying to stand up to these 3 players on Oklahoma. And there is still a lot of map to be played, but it's already 100,000 points in favor of Oklahoma. And into this lower section, it is just free combo for these Oklahoma players. They're going to continue to build, and Extractive continues to struggle all the way down at 92% accuracy. Finds the miss again, but this time Takasaki trades it back. That's going to be some help for Arizona, but they have a long way to go. They need a couple more misses from Oklahoma. They really want to start bringing this back, because there's still 2 big combos, 2 slightly smaller combos for Arizona, but they're not too far behind now. If we get a miss, there goes Whitecat now. And Arizona could be right back in this one, but unfortunately traded back by Hagawabla, as it's going to be even across the board. That's not what Arizona needs, but plenty of time left to go. Takasaki with another miss.
And Bazinga's dead drops right afterwards. That's the 97. Oh, never mind, Vancho. And still even combo between Bazinga and Measuro McQueen. 97 act for Bazinga, 95 act for Measuro. The score lead, 160,000 in Oklahoma's favor, halfway across the map now. Slight supporting combo lead for Arizona, and just a little bit of score to come back their way little by little now with that extra break from Whitecat. But again, the accuracy still in Oklahoma's favor. It's 92 for Zractive right now, the lowest act for Oklahoma, 94, almost 95 there on Takasaki U. All on Bazinga and Measuro, though, for each of these teams. There goes Bazinga. Is that one a Bancho miss? I don't think it is. It hasn't self-corrected yet, and the score lead now is going to go pretty quickly the way of Arizona. Takasaki U also breaks. It's all on Whitecat, the only combo left, but Zractive the only break so far from Arizona. Hagawabla and Measuro are still holding, and Measuro is on 1,300 combo now. Not quite the FC, but there goes Whitecat. That's the last combo for Oklahoma gone, and suddenly in the last corner, in the last quarter of the map, Mejiro and Hagawabla will take it back for Arizona. They will bring back the break point they just lost and tie it up 3-3. Mejiro will find a break here near the end, but Hagawabla has very high combo going into the end and 98 accuracy to boot.
Yeah, Arizona is going to be taking it in the end. Well predicted, Dio. Hagawabla does find the
Wait a
miss,
second.
but
Okay.
Bazinga unfortunately trades it back. I think there
Wait.
would have been enough time. Had Bazinga
Wait,
held, it could still go back over. It's actually a very long map, and Whitecat is only one holding combo. Arizona, they keep finding misses. Extractive, it's 20,000, but Whitecat misses the end, and that's going to do it. As it's a breakpoint back for Arizona. It was so close. I think the idea was there for Oklahoma. Could have gone either way, but unfortunately unable to consolidate the breakpoint, and we have ourselves a 3-3 match.
Yeah, sad for Oklahoma, but a much needed break point for Arizona. You do not want to give that 4-2 lead over to Oklahoma here. Hagawabla and Mejiro doing a lot of work on this map, really as predicted, right? We talked about Hagawabla and Mejiro for Arizona. Unexpected good score from Bazinga's Dead on the side of Oklahoma. Takasaki U on the previous map was one of the better scores for Oklahoma, but definitely struggled a little more with the hidden, same as Zaractive here. So Bazinga's Dead with a pretty solid score there for Oklahoma, does top score their team, but unfortunately not enough with Hagawabla and Mejiro just doing barely enough work to keep it on the side of Arizona. Got a couple close maps in a row, though, iFlame. That last one, I mean, 30K is could have gone either way, right? And unfortunately for Oklahoma, it went the wrong way that time. I think you could replay that map, 5 times and get a different result pretty much every time with how close that was. But unfortunately for Oklahoma, just not meant to be on that pick. And now Arizona, they see the loss on free mod, they see the win on hidden, they see the win on free mod 1. Surely we get a low AR map, right? You have 2 picks left. There's Hidden 3 and DT4 still up in the pool. Surely you just pick those 2 in order, right?
Hold on, let me find the secret pick for Arizona. It's the no mod 1. Okay, no, it is going to be the free mod 2.
I guess.
Slider aim at 203 BPM. They've looked really good on the free mod so far. Well, free mod 1 notably being that low AR pick. You do expect them to look good on it, but I do think that last pick is going to be one of the pivotal points in this match because, as you mentioned, Oklahoma have a lot less picks. It feels like Arizona opting to the free mod 2 kind of are keeping those lower AR picks on the back foot, maybe not feeling as comfortable on them as we expect and leaving those for a little bit later. But it will be Doku this time around. Gomish coming in.
Yeah, once again, a pick with a little stream aim, a little higher BPM this time, and a lot of slider aim, as you said. Gomish coming in for Arizona is a different roster swap from what we're used to seeing so far. Usually for Oklahoma, you'd expect Takasaki U and Whitecat in once again. So we'll see if that's going to be the same roster. No, Mia coming in this time for Oklahoma.
Yeah, should be Whitecat for the third, I have to imagine, most likely replacing Takasaki U. But I'm curious whether or not, I mean, it'll almost certainly be Bazinga on the Hard Rock, but my guess would be we have the Whitecat on the hidden, but we'll see if Mia wants to take it inside. I think there is a small chance, as I think we should just see pretty standard mods for Arizona, as of course, in place of Extractor, it's going to be Gomish on the Hard Rock this time around.
All right, there it is. Rosters in for both teams. As you said, Gomish on the Hard Rock, either Hagawabla or Mejiro on Hidden, but so far it's been Hagawabla. As for Oklahoma, usually Whitecat on the Hidden, and especially after the last map, though, maybe you can see Bazinga's Dead on the Hidden here, and Whitecat on the Nomad. Maybe Amia on the Nomad. We'll see.
Really needs to be the Hard Rock player for Oklahoma. I'm not sure they have anyone stronger on the Hard Rock. Bazinga, easily one of their best Hard Rock players, but we'll see shortly. We'll take a moment as we have some potential Boncho issues for Oklahoma, and it wouldn't be a USC match without Boncho.
Maybe a tournament match without a little bit of that. And apparently hidden hard
True.
rock for White Yacht here.
Okay.
Amia on the hidden. Huge overmod for Arizona as well. Double hidden and a hidden hard rock for Gomish. Only no mod in the lobby on Bazinga's dead.
Yeah, I mean, slight overmods for both teams. We'll see if it pays off for either one of them, as it is going to be, as you said, heavier mods for Arizona. But I think Agawabla and Mishiro are generally going to be very comfortable on the hidden. It's Gamish taking the hidden and the hard rock. It's a little bit more of a surprise. We see early misses from many players, Gamish, Mishiro, and I think that's going to be it for the
I think
time
that's
being. We
it.
saw some Bancho misses on Oklahoma, but that's 3 full combos, 2-1 as the dust settles for the intro of this free mod 2.
And so far, it's favoring Oklahoma because of that. Another miss for Mejiro. Amia will match it. But Oklahoma still with the 2 FCs, beating out just the 1 for Hagawabla. But Gomish not too far behind that FC on the hidden hard rock. There goes White Yacht. And now no combo for Oklahoma aside from that FC. But there goes
Ooh.
Gomish, Hagawabla, and Mejiro. It's a 3-way break for Arizona. And suddenly Bazinga on the Nomad just allowed to run away with it here. 97 accuracy on the full combo. Not the highest in the lobby, but still good enough. Only Mejiro, Amia, and Hagawabla around that 97 act, as both the hidden hard rock players kind of struggling with the accuracy a little bit, as to be expected. Bazinga will finally find the break, and so combo lead back the way of Arizona, but it's not a big one. 370 combo on Amia versus about 250 on both Hagawabla and Mejiro here. Halfway through, slight score lead for Oklahoma, slight combo lead for Arizona.
Yeah, and Bazinga held on to that combo long enough to build up a pretty decisive score lead. It is only 100,000, so it could go back over quickly. But so far, the combo has not been there for Arizona. Unfortunately, it's a full reset for Oklahoma, and pretty much a full reset for Arizona as well, as there is no combo to be seen anywhere in this match at the moment. But Bazinga, 170 combo, the highest in the lobby. And with a quarter of the map to go, it is a 20,000 point difference. It's going to come down to the combos, the drops, even the accuracy into the ending. This ending is very tricky as well. It's Gomish with a massive drop, drops a ton of accuracy, but 2 players missing from Oklahoma, not traded back. There goes the entire Arizona team, and it is Bazinga once again rebuilding that combo on the Nomad. And it seems like the overmod not paying off this time around, as Bazinga should be able to close this one out. And Oklahoma has found a second breakpoint in a row. And we've got breakpoint after breakpoint after breakpoint in this match.
I feel next thing you know, we're going to see Oklahoma pick the hidden 3. Like, I don't know what's going on right now.
I mean,
We're just getting break points all over the place. But for Oklahoma, it's another happy ending here on a free mod mispick for Arizona. Up over 100,000 score going into the end. Bazinga with 540k almost to close out the map. 360k for Amia, 330k for White Yacht. And it's mostly the difference between Bazinga on the Nomad and one of the hidden players in Hagawabla, plus White Yacht getting 330k versus Gamish on 270k on the hidden Hard Rock. And that is a pretty solid ending there for Oklahoma. They do manage to take another breakpoint by just over 100,000. And now they just have to win their own picks. Surely they can win their own picks, right? Surely.
that was the idea after the last breakpoint they got, but it didn't end up being the case, as 30,000 points was a little bit too much to overcome. And, we'll see if they can get that 30,000 points back this time around, as, again, they do have the pick, and it is Oklahoma leading Arizona by 1 point. And going into this one, I can definitely say this is not how I was expecting this match to go. I definitely thought it'd be close, but I didn't think it would be Oklahoma with the lead this far in. And curiously, not seeing the hidden pick by Arizona so far. They do still have both of those available, but Dio, they're quickly running out of picks. They only have, I think, 2 picks left in this match, or
Arizona only has 1 pick
Oklahoma.
left.
They only have 1 pick,
Yeah.
So one of the hidden 1 or the hidden 2 are going to be left unpicked by Arizona. And we'll see if that ends up costing them in this one, as it is going to be the Nomad 3 for Oklahoma. I think this is a pretty solid pick. This is a very kind of awkward, fast aim, pretty snappy. There's a little bit of finger control. And there are also a few 222 bursts to watch out for. We have seen Oklahoma struggle with the speed. but is much more of an aim focus. I think Oklahoma should be okay on the burst. They're nothing crazy.
Yeah, and this is well, as close to a traditional Nomad 1 aim map as it gets in this pool, I think.
Yeah, I'd say it's the closest thing.
Pretty sure. Yeah. So as close to basic mechanics as you can get here. We'll see how well this works for Oklahoma. This is not something that we've really seen so far. Granted, there's not a lot of it in the pool, but we haven't really seen anything super typical yet, right? We've seen Nomad 2, which is CS9. We've seen Hard Rock 2, which is CS 6.5 tech streams. We've seen DT2, which is probably the most straightforward map, but it's a speed map, so very different from something like this. And then, of course, Fremod 1, Fremod 2, Fremod 4, all very different sorts of maps. Same with the Hidden 1 from something like this. So not any real good way to call this. I was kind of expecting something a little more like the Nomad 5 from Oklahoma, honestly. Or maybe something like the DT3 or Fremod 3 even. But not necessarily this map. So interested to see how this goes for them. The Fremod so far have been good though, right? They've won the Fremod 2, they've won the Fremod 4, so maybe just keeping some Nomad players seems like a good idea to them. They've had more wins on Fremod and more wins on Nomad than Arizona so far, so maybe leaning into that a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, they have picked quite a bit of Nomad in this tournament. I think it does tend to work well for them. They don't necessarily, on every map, have the rosters to put together mods on every free mod, although they haven't had a problem with it in this match so far. And we've got Asian come in replacing Takasaki Yu. It's a little bit surprising because I feel like historically Takasaki has been pretty solid on a lot of aim-focused picks. But I think the concern for Takasaki Yu is potentially a little bit outscaled by this map. Is one of the lower ranked players on Oklahoma. And of course, for Arizona, it will be Hagawabla and Majiro, along with Gomish this time around, rather than X Reactive. And I think we're going to see a pretty even map, at least to start, as we wait for the first tricky jump section.
Yeah, it's one thing to point out, by the way, Takasaki Yu is a 5-digit.
It's not real.
Yeah, it's not real, but it's not real, but you know, on some of the mechanics fix, sometimes it's real.
It is.
So
it is.
Definitely makes a little more sense to have one of the other 4 digits come in for this map in Asian here. We do see a couple breaks though. Asian does break for Oklahoma, but so do Gomish and Mejiro McQueen on the side of Arizona. So it's just Hagawabla versus the double FC from Bazinga's Head and White Yacht on the side of Oklahoma. And as for Arizona, I mean, all of these players are about the same ranking now. So on a mechanics map like this, you kind of expect it to be relatively similar. Gomish does find another break though. And so more of that combo lead over to Oklahoma with White Yacht and Bazinga's Dead holding on to the combo versus Hagawabla on 99 accuracy with the FC, looking very comfortable there.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Arizona, Majira and Bazinga are going to trade misses, but unfortunately for Arizona, it's Gomish and Majiro at very low accuracy, 92, 94 respectively, is going to put them pretty far behind, even though the combos they were relatively even before that miss from Majiro, and it's Gomish find another miss. Dio, it is all on Hagawabla right now, trying to fend off White Yacht and Asian. The support is just not there. Thankfully, Asian does find a miss, and of course, who could have guessed it? It is Hagawabla up against White Yacht. These two have been tearing it up all match long. They have been the best performers for their teams all tournament long. It is down to these two. We'll find out in about half a map whether or not Oklahoma can put themselves on match point.
Yeah, let's just see how this goes. A bit of a slower section, but another break for Gomish. Slight supporting combo advantage for Oklahoma, despite the matching FCs. We're now up to about 160,000 score lead for Oklahoma here. And that is going to climb a little bit as these supporting combos continue to do a little more work. Plus the 2% act gap in favor of White Yacht for Oklahoma. So Hagawabla really with the entirety of the map resting on his shoulders right now. We're into the next PI time, and nobody breaking on the intro stream. Nobody breaking on the bursts here either. Stack stream not getting anyone's combo as well. And none of the awkward aim, none of the slider jumps getting anyone. The big stream there, not catching anyone either. The spacing into the awkward jumps with the doubles. Finally, we see one break from Asian, but that's it. And it's about similar supporting combo now for both Oklahoma and Arizona, but a 230,000 score lead for Oklahoma off the accuracy and the previous supporting score gap. And now Oklahoma is looking very, very good on this. There goes Mejiro, and now it's back to a combo lead for Oklahoma once again, less than a quarter of the map left. And with a 255,000 score lead for Oklahoma, it looks very good for them now. White Yacht and Hagawabla still on the FCs, but the 470k supporting score for Bazinga's Dead is pretty much the entirety of that score lead.
Yeah, and things have gotten out of hand so quickly for Arizona. I don't think they have time left to make the comeback. Honestly, at this point, even if White Yacht finds the miss, Bazinga is right there with the solid supporting combo. And I think, yeah, this is breakpoint consolidated for Oklahoma, and they should be on match point after this one. Hagawabla unfortunately not going to find the FC. Waikia does. And Oklahoma need to win one more map to take this one over Arizona and achieve their best performance in USC history.
Yeah, that is a great scoreline to see if you are rooting for Oklahoma or if you're just rooting for an upset in general. Arizona, though, on the back foot. They have to win this pick, of course, but then there's the issue of Oklahoma's next pick. They need to take a break point just to get to that tiebreaker. It's tournament life on the line. All three potential maps here in a row for Arizona, starting with this pick. They're going to go with No Mod 5. So they don't pick into
Right.
either of the other low AR maps. They don't pick into either Hidden 3 or DT4. And instead they pick into Nomad 5. Now, this is maybe a pick that doesn't make too much sense on paper, just because, it's not really a speed map and there's still a DT3 pick left, so why not pick into that? But I would say Egg Pain is more tapping intensive than the vast majority of maps at the same star rating. It's a lot of finger control. It's somewhat a reading pick, but as soon as you get the hang of the patterning, the reading is not that big a deal anymore, and it becomes a finger control stamina pick that is really, really tough for a lot of players to get down. Even if you're solid at the BPM, even if you can death stream this BPM, some players just don't have the finger control for this. And so it's something where if you are really, really solid at all types of patterning on this BPM in terms of tapping, you're going to be very, very good on this map. And I think Arizona, seeing the speed bands, seeing how well they did on DT2, maybe picking into this just because of that. As this is a much more difficult map than it looks like at first glance. And even then, it's still 6.9 stars. So one of the most difficult maps in the pool, I think.
And 194.82 BPM, of course, because, that extra 0.18 BPM really makes a difference on a map like this one. But yeah, really curious picks from Arizona. Of course, these players know their scores much better than we do, obviously. We're just going based off of previous performances and our knowledge of the players. But evidently, it's something about this hidden pool that they just don't feel comfortable enough to really try and pick those hiddens. And so instead, they're into the No Mod 4 with their tournament lives on the line. It is going to be Extractive, Hagawabla, and Majiro McQueen trying to keep Arizona's hopes alive in this tournament for at least one map longer.
So far, the accuracy looking good for Arizona. Amia on 90% here at the intro. Definitely doesn't bode super well. Of course, the bottom row all looking good for both teams. And Zeractive on 99. Definitely seeming a little more comfortable here to start. But full combo's intact for everyone here. There goes White Yacht, though. Misses right before the jump section. Hagawabla will trade on the jumps. So it's two of those higher ACK plays gone, but more of an ACK drop for White Yacht with more of those misses. Amia will find the drop also now for Oklahoma, and that's really rough down at 95. Extractive will find the drop as well, though, on 97, and suddenly it's just two FCs on the board at all. Mejiro and Bazinga, one for each team. better accuracy for Mejiro. And there goes Bazinga. And iFlame, this pick now looks very good for Arizona. Mejiro has made it out of the first section with combo intact. They're going to see the combos here in this section. They're going to know that they are good to go here. All they have to do is just keep the combo for a little bit through the doubles here, and this should be a pretty solid score lead secured for Arizona.
Yeah, but it's more misses from the other two players, Extractive and Hagawabla, and you need some supporting combo from these other two players. Eventually, the combos on Oklahoma are going to catch up to Majiro. They have Whitecat and Amiya, no longer Amiya, unfortunately, trying to match Oklahoma. There goes Bazinga as well, and Dwight gets a full reset for Oklahoma. And with that, Majiro is in a fantastic spot to carry this one, but Majiro finds the miss. The combo is just not there for Oklahoma. They're down by 200,000. And with no combo in sight, it's going to take a lot to make a comeback here. The accuracy not there either, unfortunately, as Amiya is down at 90% and Bazinga on 88 now.
And the damage may have just been done already with now 300,000 score lead for Arizona. Yeah, there's not great combo for Arizona, but it's matching combo for Oklahoma, and the accuracy is so much better on Arizona's side. 98.9 for Hagawabla is some pretty incredible act looking at the rest of the lobby and seeing 95.7 as the next best for Mejiro McQueen. It was a 3% act gap there for Hagawabla. Does finally drop some more hundreds down to mid 97 accuracy, but look at the act for Oklahoma. 87, 84, 91, not even close to the two bottom row scores for Arizona there on 97 and 95 accuracy, and that is just doing so much for these scores. The combos have been relatively similar throughout the map, aside from that one pop-off combo for Mejiro McQueen, but now you get a 700 combo almost for Hagawabla, plus this act gap, and it's manifesting a couple of 400Ks for Arizona. It's manifesting a 4th point for Arizona.
Yep. At this point in the match, I think Oklahoma are going to be very happy to have that break point in their back pocket, because there's one map before the tiebreaker, and that pick goes to Oklahoma. And so there's going to be a lot of pressure here for Arizona to perform on the whatever the next pick may be. It is out of their hands at this point. And so Oklahoma getting that earlier break point has gained them potentially a big advantage going into potentially one of the last maps in this match. Of course, the pool is dwindling, and Oklahoma are running a really solid options. It's, it's this point when we get down to those final picks that the options become so much less clear. There doesn't feel like there's necessarily any fantastic option. You just have to pick the map you're most comfortable on and hope for the best. But we've seen them to beat Arizona on quite a few of these picks. They weren't expected to. I could see them do it again here, especially with the performance of Whitecat so far. Even Bazinga on the last few maps has been playing incredibly well.
I think at this point, you start to entertain maybe another kind of mechanics focused pick in something like the Fremod 3. It's not really a mechanics map, but it is around the same BPM as what we saw on the Nomad 3. It's a little more swing focused for Fremod 3 though, so maybe a little bit rough on that one. Aside from that, I mean, there's no like aim mechanics left in the pool. With
okay.
Hard Rock 1 band, DT 1 band.
They have Hidden 3. It'll be okay.
I'm not picking Hidden 3. I'm not picking
I
Hidden 3
wouldn't
for
either.
Oklahoma.
At
Oh,
this
hell
point,
no.
it'd be the only thing in the match that makes sense, Somebody's got to
Hidden
pick
2?
Hidden for Arizona, and there it is, Theo. Look,
Oh my
it's not
God.
the Hidden 3, but if Arizona won't do it, Oklahoma says, there has to be some reason they've not picked the Hidden 2 or the Hidden 3 into us. They evidently are not as comfortable on these picks as their previous scores would suggest, and Oklahoma, with that information, are going to opt into the Hidden 2, and this Hidden 2 is, big circles for a big map. It is 222 BPM and only a single CS. It's an aim control focus map, but with 222 BPM, it is 111, so I think relatively single tappable if any of the players do prefer that. But I do expect most to be alternate, but very large circles in contrast to our Hard Rock 2 earlier.
Technically speaking,
Yep.
this is the same BPM as Nomad 3, and it's also an aim map.
Okay.
Let them
I like
cook.
I like where your head's at. I like
Right?
where it's going.
It's technically a 222 BPM aim map that is the same, it's the same kind of map as No Mod 3 in that way. This is also AR9. It's just long jump chains, long, awkward jump chains. So it just does not feel quite the same, even with the BPM being similar and the primary skill tested being similar. It's so much more dense. It's so much just janker, so much more jank. Um,
Yeah.
AR9 hidden with CS1 feels so combo dense. This should feel lower approach rate than it actually is. So we'll see how these players handle it. Amea, White Yacht, and Bazinga's Dead in for Oklahoma. Distractive, Hagawabla, and Mejro McQueen fighting for their tournament life on this pick. Oklahoma, if they win this map, they win the match and they secure the best ever finish for Oklahoma in United States Cup history.
And it all comes down to Hidden 2 into a team that has been known for their hidden for a number of years. Bazinga is going to find the first miss, but shouldn't matter much at all as we get into the rest of this map. Here we go into these really tricky aim control patterns. Majiro is going to trade it back along with Bazinga, finding yet another miss. A little bit concerning. Bazinga struggling early. The accuracy really rough, down to 87, but it is still 2 FCs to 2. As long as Oklahoma can hold on to these other FCs, they might be able to overcome some of the struggles from Bazinga. But here we go into the one of the very tricky parts of the map. There goes Extractive. All of a sudden, Oklahoma should have the edge. The score lead will start to go back over slowly. The accuracy is going to slow the bleeding a little bit for Arizona. But there's so much pressure on Hagawabla right now. It is the standing between Oklahoma and victory is that massive combo on Hagawabla. It's Extractive finds yet another miss, and the score lead goes over to Oklahoma. We're only a quarter of the way into this map. This one is going to be a battle.
Amea will be the next drop for Oklahoma, though. And the combos now looking very similar on both sides, but 93 AC for Bazinga's Dead versus the 99 and 98 on Hagawabla and Mejro means the AC difference is in favor of Arizona for now. Amea is on 99, though, so does have much better AC there on the supporting score for Oklahoma. If Amea can build back up some combo, it's going to start to matter a little more than the 94 for Bazinga, just because Bazinga has some combo and Interactive does not. But it's down to an FC and a supporting score here for both teams. The score lead 25K, just barely in favor of Oklahoma right now. Almost halfway through the map. This is a 4-minute pick as well. Holding your nerves becomes very, very important on a pick like this, as it's jumps the entire way through. It's aim control the entire way through. Everything in this map can feel that much more difficult with shakes. So if you're starting to shake, if you're starting to find those tremors, then you need to bring it under control in this. But White Yacht and Hagawabla right now looking very good. Bazinga and Mejro on matching combos still. No breaks for Amea or Zractive either in the meantime. And so this score lead just staying put at about 30-40K, pretty much growing very slowly actually in favor of Oklahoma. I think that supporting 99.5 accuracy for Amea is doing some work here, and Bazinga has really recovered the act back up to 96, now matching Zractive. But there goes White Yacht, huge miss on the FC for Oklahoma. Zractive the only trade so far, and the score going right back the way of Arizona now. Amea and Bazinga still holding on to combo, so there is some hope for Oklahoma here left going into the last quarter. But Mejiro and Hagawabla have brought the score back to the side of Arizona. White Yacht with more misses for Oklahoma, and suddenly the map turned on its head into the very last quarter of the map.
It is still anyone's game, though. The high combos are there for Oklahoma. All it takes is one miss from one big combo on Arizona, and it could go back over. There's still a quarter of the map to go, and the ending of this map is just as tricky as the rest. There's not really any more slow sections for free combo, but Majiro and Hagawabla hold strong for now. Amea with a massive drop on the slow section, and now Bazinga is the last hope for Oklahoma on this map. Now it's going to take a miss from both Majira and Hagawabla, but things are very quickly. Time is running out, and unless we see those misses pretty much immediately after the slow section, I think it will be going to tiebreaker.
I think that's it. I don't think there's
Ah,
enough time left anyway. It's a 200,000 score lead for Arizona. There's just not map left. I mean, Hagawabla's at 1.02 million on the FC right now. Why speak?
a little late.
But Oklahoma will lose this last pick. Arizona will take back the break point and bring us to tiebreaker in the second match of the weekend. They will stay in this tournament one map longer and deny Oklahoma that best finish so far as they bring us to the Data map in the Data map pool in the partially Data tournament. Backcountry by Avenged Sevenfold.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Avenged Sevenfold. Unlike a lot of modern tiebreakers you see, this one is very, very heavy focus on the aim. You've got a little bit of a couple alt aim control patterns. It is 250 BPM, so we're going to be 125 pattern. And there are a couple streams that are just absolutely brutal, sharp angles that I think we could see a lot of misses on. But you're not really going to see the tack that you tend to see more often on tiebreakers nowadays. And at this point, I'm not sure who that favors. You know, we saw Oklahoma taking the aim focus pick in the Nomad 3, but then we saw Arizona take the aim focus pick in that Hidden 2.
Yeah, this is... I don't know who this favors. I feel like Oklahoma, as a team that has been a little better on Nomad so far, maybe a little bit favored on this. We have seen Oklahoma do a little bit better on kind of stream aim focused stuff as well. The Hard Rock 2, the Nomad 2, the Free Mod 4, and there is a lot of that in this map. They have also had an okay time on some of the awkward aim, for example, the Nomad 3, whereas Arizona, their wins have been on the Hidden 1, on the DT2, of course, speed there, the Free Mod 1 in reading, the Nomad 5 in some of the tapping and finger control, and then, of course, what we just saw in the Hidden 2 with the kind of high BPM awkward aim. So a high BPM awkward aim, yes, is in this map, but I feel like that does favor Oklahoma a little bit more because it's on the Nomad. It's not that high density that we saw on the Hidden 2. So honestly, I feel like Oklahoma has a pretty good shot on this tiebreaker, but with how long the map is, with the nerves piling up for both teams, you never know which way tiebreaker is going to go before you get into it.
Yeah, and what I like here for Oklahoma as well is just because of the nature of this tiebreaker, it's going to be Majiro out for Arizona, Extractive, and Gomish coming in. But it has been Hagawabla and Majiro all tournament long that has been keeping Arizona in this one. And so not having Majiro in for the tiebreaker could be pretty rough for them, but just not a skill set, not a map that Majiro is comfortable with. So here we are, Arizona, Oklahoma, one map between these teams and better finish than they have had in years. It is Hagawabla, Extractive, Gomish up against Whitecat, Bazinga, and Amiya. And so far, it is 2 early misses for Arizona, 1 for Whitecat. As you see how tricky some of those streams are, and there are a lot more of those to come. So it is already 1 FC to 1 as Gomish will find another miss, but this is a long map, so the early combos are not going to necessarily matter too much. We do see Extractive find another miss, though. That's no FCs for Oklahoma. Hagawabla only 100 combo behind. Never mind, that's a full reset for Arizona. And Oklahoma have a chance to now build up a really, really good score lead here. Let's see how long they can hold on to their combos for. Not going to be long for Amiya, but the other two holding strong through this fast jump section. Bazinga holds through the stream as well, and Oklahoma are already ahead by 100,000. Arizona, Dio, are just falling apart on this tiebreaker.
Yeah, and the combos for Oklahoma are pretty solid on the other side. Bazinga and Whitecat on the Nomad looking very, very good. Amiya on the Hidden, not quite as much on 93 AC, 90k. But the Nomads here for Oklahoma so far holding strong. Bazinga still on the FC, the only FC in the lobby, and Whitecat on the reverse choke with 98 accuracy, best in the lobby by 1.5% over Hagawabla on the hidden for Arizona. And obviously, of course, Gomish and Amiya both struggling pretty much equally, and actually Zractive struggling just about as much as Amiya. So Gomish down at 60k is just really not having it on this map. There goes White Yacht, though. That's one of the big combos down for Oklahoma now. And Bazinga's dead. The only high combo in the lobby, the only FC left in the lobby, able to just pull out some score here for Oklahoma right out of the hat. It's a 240,000 score lead now going into the speed part. This part of the map is these higher BPM bursts. I think they're 250 or something like that, if memory serves, from Course Ace when this was released originally.
They are, yeah.
And there is one long stream right at the end of this section that players need to be prepared for. You can double tap it. It is double tappable. There is no spacing on it, but you have to know it's there. You have to be ready for it at the end of this section. The 1/3 streams catch Bazinga's dead, but nobody has any combo. And it's a 280,000 score lead for Oklahoma with everyone reset.
Yeah, the door shuts for Arizona as soon as it was opened. And yes, the combo is gone for Oklahoma, but the accuracy, the combo, is just not there. There's still half the map to go. It is a lot to ask, but you can't count them out quite yet. We've seen a few times Arizona falling behind early and Hagawabla bringing it back in the end with a massive combo. But that massive combo needs to start being built now. You can't afford to keep missing, as time is going to quickly run out. 300,000 points doesn't seem like that much, but on a map this long, it's going to take a while to make back that 300 combo. And unfortunately, it's just misses continuing to be traded for both teams. And Oklahoma is going to be very, very happy with every single trade, as long as you're not losing the big combos for a smaller one. Is White Cat matching Hagawabla. As long as the combos are even, fantastic spot as Gomish just chain misses that entire jump section. And Dio, I don't know if Arizona has the time now. I don't know if they have the combos.
It's over. The last quarter of this map, or the last 20% or so, is all slow section. So as long as the combo for White Yacht holds to that last jump, and it does. Oh my god, he slider breaks on air. Okay, I still don't think there's enough time. This entire last section is just free combo, but I don't think there's enough time for a comeback here. There's probably enough of a score gap, 330k or so for Oklahoma.
We need another full
here
reset from Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think we'd need another full reset from Oklahoma for this to really become backable. Hagawabla has some combo, but the combo density in this part being all slow section here at the end is just not high enough. And I think that is it. Oklahoma, 300,000 score in the lead with just a little bit of map left. They've done it. It's finally done, iFlame. After what is this? The 8th iteration of United States Cup. Oklahoma have finally broken into the top 16 of the tournament. This is their very first top 16 guaranteed finish since the inception of United States Cup. Every other year, they have been top 24 or worse. And finally, they've done it. They've broken out of top 24 and into top 16 and knocked out Arizona on tiebreaker.
Yep, it is an incredible story for Oklahoma. White Cat popping off in the start of this match. And in the end, to close it out, it is Bazinga putting up an absurd 500k on the tiebreaker, getting the highest score in the lobby by 100,000. And as you've mentioned, Dio, Oklahoma, now their highest placement ever in USC. Unfortunately, Arizona will drop to the losers bracket, but Oklahoma, do you think they can make it another round? They've got a matchup against the winner of Washington, New Jersey. It's going to be tough, but they have a chance.
Yeah, and that is an interesting piece of lore. If they do, actually, never mind. I was thinking New Jersey was their previous opponent for Oklahoma. It was actually Pennsylvania, not New Jersey. But I do think it would be a tough matchup regardless of who makes it through that other match in losers bracket. New Jersey and Washington, both tough opponents, so definitely good luck to Oklahoma in that match. And as for Arizona, thank you for playing, but unfortunately that is the last we will be seeing of them in this tournament. So
Yeah.
sayonara to Arizona, and congratulations to Oklahoma for making it into the top 16 and for winning this match.
Yep. First the hockey team, now USC. It's rough times for Arizona.
Yeah.
But our next match is going to be 17 UTC tomorrow, or I guess 17
Or 3
UTC
UTC
today.
right?
Yes, I for some reason I thought this was a 3 UTC match. I'm like, yeah, it's 3 UTC right now. But yes, we'll be back later tonight or tomorrow, depending on where you are. 3 UTC. We've got 2 matches for you guys: NorCal versus Georgia, 1 seed versus 24. Well, that is a matchup in the winners bracket. That should be a fun one. And at the same time, on the B stream, we are going to have Stateless versus Tennessee. Stateless looking quite strong this year, but Tennessee with players, I think, as you mentioned at the start of this one, such as Koda and Suiku and 3, looking very strong themselves. So it should be 2 good matchups there.
Yeah. That's going to do it for us for now, though. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, of course, to Vleth for reffing this match and to Keys for streaming. We'll see you all back here at 3 UTC for the NorCal versus Georgia match and on the B stream for Stateless versus Tennessee. Catch you then.